Yeah, it was a very tough week for us. Last week we were discussing this is the tough year, the mental part of the year where it gets tough to keep your team afloat and keep them mentally prepared and mentally fresh. If you look around the country, in the top 10, almost everyone lost, with the exception of, I believe, Stanford and us, and it's just a tough time of the year. So for us to be able to go 3 wins in a short amount of time, and the way that we performed at the level was very pleasing to our staff. And Friday night against Kansas State was a very good match. It was grueling for us mentally, emotionally, and our team did a great job of handling that, and very pleased with it. We have a chance to go 13-0 for the first time in 15 years in conference. We've never done that before, so it's a big opportunity for us. And fortunately, with our schedule, the way the Big 12 is, we have a bye on Wednesday. So again, another opportunity to get them a little bit more rest, get them prepared, and then get them in a position where we can compete at a high level on the road against a top 10 RPI team in Kansas. So it's a critical time, but it's a good time for us. 2 of our next 4 matches will be on the road at Kansas and at Iowa State, and those will be good tests for us, and we need to be tested at this point. So we're excited as a staff to kind of get in those environments and see where our team is at and continue to improve. We're getting some great play right now out of a lot of our players, and we're playing a lot steadier. Hannah's doing a great job with distributing our offense. We're getting a lot more balance. She's getting a lot more confident with our middles, and they're doing a better job of presenting themselves, and therefore we're having better balance with our team. So when someone like Molly, who is obviously highly recruited, comes in and starts as a freshman, it takes time to adjust to this level. She's done a phenomenal job. Her numbers continue to go up, and we're able to get her more attempts. So I think the way that we went about it with her was very good. Didn't overwhelm her early, kind of kept her confidence going, and now she's getting to the point where she can take some big swings in crunch situations. And then the development of where Haley and Bailey have gone has been critical for us. We're starting to get a lot of good play out of both of them on the same night. Early on we weren't getting that. So I'm very pleased with where they're at. Obviously, Haley is probably up for consideration for National Player of the Year and is well deserving, being a 6th rotation player and putting up big points, and Bailey's having some big numbers as well. So I'm pleased with where our team is at. We're getting to a good spot, but again, this NCAA tournament I think is going to be one of the most diverse ever. It's going to be very challenging, and we're going to have to be ready to play because of the level of talent that's out there amongst the other teams.
Coach Elliott, can you expand on the bye week and what would change as far as practice?
Yeah, so it's a good question, how we kind of manage that. We have a few players that are under the weather right now. We'll just get them some rest. Today will be a real light day. We gave them the weekend off, but today will be very light, maybe some individuals with some of our players, and we'll get at it tomorrow again. So it'll give us an opportunity just to kind of get them in a position where we can obviously count their number of jumps, know what we're doing, the length of the practices. Gives us a little bit more time to only prepare for one team. So our biggest thing is we're going to want them to improve in the areas that we still need, and hopefully get good production out of the practices in small quantities of time, and get them in a situation where they can be prepared to play at a high level on the road at Kansas, because that will be needed. It'll be sold out. It'll be a fun environment for us to be a part of. But again, now we're battling with. We've got a good chance of winning the Big 12 with a 3-game lead, going with 4 games to remain. But we're now focusing also on how to play our best at the end of the year.
As far as Kansas, what are you up against?
Yeah, they've been very, very good. They're undefeated at home. They haven't lost. So, in the past we haven't played exceptionally well up there. We've won, but we have played in a battle, and I'm very happy that we were able to go to TCU last week. It's a similar type gym. It's small. The ball moves differently. The lighting is different, and getting acclimated to that will be important for us. But they're playing at a high level. They've switched a few things that I need to go back and watch some more film on, and I'll have time to be able to do that. But they're obviously very talented at home. They know that they're competing for a top 16 spot in the RPI, which probably will make them host the first and second round. So a lot riding on it for them as well, and it'll be fun to kind of just get up there and battle again.
Coach, talk a little bit about Molly and her, particularly her offensive impact, and maybe what it means for sort of the stability of your offense. I guess, yeah, stability of your offense?
Well, Molly was very talented coming in, and we knew that, but she didn't have a whole lot of high-level experience in terms of playing on a lot of high-level teams. So for her to get acclimated has been a good process for her. She's developed. She continues to learn. She's super competitive, and she's starting to get a good connection with Hannah, which is important. You know, we're able to get her a little bit more involved behind the setter. She's creating more range and obviously a much higher kill production, and you know, that's a big trust issue. You know, learning the speed and learning what you're going to get and how to move that ball around is critical, and she's been able to do that. And Hannah's looking for her a lot more now. You know, even in transition balls, she's finding her. So Molly's going to be, as I said earlier on in the season, one of the premier players in this country. She has exceptional speed. She's done a phenomenal job on the defense end as well in terms of blocking. So we're pleased with where she's at. And, you know, the fun part about coaching this group right now is they're bought in. They prepared very well day in and day out for practices, and there's so many young players that continue to develop, and we're starting to see that unfold. So I believe that we can still get better here in the next month, and that's critical for us if we're looking at the big picture.
Coach, what's this time of year like? Now that we're in November, the calendar's changed, regional tournaments around the corner. What's it like for you? Does anything change with you? Do you get a little more excited about this time?
This is probably the most difficult time for coaches too. It's exhausting. I mean, we're on the road, we're breaking down film, we're preparing. You know, you're trying to get some recruiting in there as well, and you're trying to keep your team emotionally stable and in a good spot. You know, and this week we'll spend a lot of time probably touching base with each player as well, just kind of finding out where they're at, where they are emotionally, what we can do to help them, getting them in a good spot. But you know, probably in the next week or week and a half, then things are going to start changing for them. The light at the end of the tunnel's there. They're going to start seeing, hey, this is a reality here for us to, you know, be a top seed or be one of the top 2 seeds and where we fall, and hopefully be able to host all the way through to the Final Four. But it's an exciting time. It's a great reason. It's a big reason why a lot of players come here, because they can contend for a national championship year in and year out. And we've been close. We need to get a little lucky. We need to stay healthy. And but I like our demeanor of our team. And one of the things I'm excited about this next 2 weeks is we get to put them in some chaotic environments and some stressful environments. And with the age of this group, the more that we can put them in those situations and deal with that is going to be critical. But when we return home, you know, I made a plea to our fans. We're going to need them out, and we need them loud and obnoxious and respectful, but we want them loud and being a big part of us advancing in this NCAA tournament.